Okay, Mr. R.P. Singh, let's then come at this convenient point to what people consider to be the downside, and let's go through the many aspects of the alleged downside one by one. The first potential risk, it said, is that FDI will have an adverse impact on small corner shops, which are called Kirana stores in India. Now, studies done by Business Line, or quoted by Business Line, show that in Thailand, in the 5 years after 1997, when FDI in retail was permitted, something like 60% of Thai-owned grocery stores shut down. In Britain, between 81 and 99, the number of independent retailers is said to have fallen by 50%. Are you scared that something similar could happen in India, or are you confident it won't?
Let me first reply to what Mr. Khandelwal said in the name of intermediation. Do we still require intermediation by bullock carts? Now, intermediation should be something which adds value, certainly, which allows us to carry the produce from one season to another season, which allows us to add value to the whole system, which allows us to create jobs. Now, if you don't want to integrate with the rest of the world, then you will only find it will be easier to get apple from China than to get from Himachal.
Okay.
So what is going to happen to our agriculture system, you can realize.
That's a very fair point. Now come to my point about Kirana stores.
Now I'll come to your point now. See, the point is, in the short run, there is a worry that yes, jobs will be lost maybe. Now, my feeling is that in case you address the inadequacies of the back end, the kind of extra economic activity which will be generated. Imagine if 1 lakh crore worth fruit is saved, and if it is processed, what is the kind of jobs it's going to add? What is the kind of economic value it's going to add? Okay. Now, as far as we are very much concerned about the small retailer, the mom and pop shops, the corner store, who are actually, in my view, they are adding a value to the system because they are providing a certain kind of convenience to the.
I take your point.
Now, we would like to integrate these kind of shops with the whole value chain which we are planning.
Okay.
If you have seen the kind of concerns we have expressed, this is one of the major concerns for us.
Mr. Kumar, you wanted to interrupt while he was talking. I didn't let you, but let me now put to you the two thoughts that, in a sense, are in the mind of the audience. One is the level of intermediation that Mr. Khandelwal says will be cut out. You welcomed it. He's worried about it. How do you respond to that first?
See, the question is that the intermediation today that's going on in India, as Mr. R.P. Singh pointed out, is so backward and is so not value adding that what it results in is that goods within India do not move as they should and they are getting imported. Second, I think it's extremely important to know that our study pointed out that because in India retail trade is going to grow at 10% or more, there is no question of Kirana stores being shut down, and in fact it's a win-win game for both the modern stores, the modern retail and the Kirana stores.
Let me challenge that point by giving you international statistics, and I'm quoting M&M Euro data. They say that the top 20 international retailers today control 99% of Norway, 94% of Sweden, 88% of Switzerland, 81% of France, 64% of UK, and 57% of Portugal. Are you worried that something similar could eventually end up happening in India?
The word eventually is most important. All these countries that you cited have per capita incomes of $20,000 to $25,000 or more. We are still at $1,000, and therefore you will not have a situation where these FDI or the modern retailers will go into town, category A, B, C, or towns or the villages.
Okay.
So the Kirana store will thrive. And just one other thing, our study pointed out that during this last 5 years, the Kirana stores have actually added value, have started competing, and their attrition rates have been no more than on average for any business in India.
Let me bring you in, Mr. Verghese, and let me put to you something else that Business Line quotes. I'm talking about Business Line April 2005. They say that if foreign retailers could capture 20% of the Indian retail market, and that is easily conceivable over a 4 or 5 year period, something up to 8 million jobs would be lost because their levels of efficiency mean they need less and less people for each 1,000 crore of turnover. How do you respond to that concern?
Well, Karan, I think one keeps hearing about this loss of jobs as a result of organized retail coming into the country. But I can just very simply say that if you look at the example of my own company, which is just 3 years old in this business, we have created 12,000 jobs directly and almost close to 5 times the amount indirectly, that is almost 60,000 jobs in this country for retail. Now, this is by creating just close to 2 million square feet. Now, if you look at all the data that surrounds us, and with the increase in per capita consumption that is expected, we are a $1 trillion economy with a $410 billion investment, a market of total retail in the country, in which 6% only is modern retail. I think it will take the next 30 years for us to really take the 6% to maybe 25, 30, 35%.
So this is a very far off danger, if at all it is a danger. Let me pick up on, in fact, a point Mr. Khandelwal made by the DIPP in that discussion paper they've put out, because what that point suggests is that if you look at China as the example, far from jobs being lost, jobs will be added. It says that FDI in China was permitted in 1992. By 2001, employment in retail had almost doubled from 4 to 7%, and the number of people employed in retail had gone up from 28 million to 54 million. And secondly, the number of corner shops in that same period of time had increased from 1.9 million to 2.5 million. So far from this affecting employment, it's adding to employment.
I mean, I just want to know, what is the need of foreign direct investment in retail?
But if it boosts employment, then it is badly needed.
No, I mean, the basic question is, do we ever try to upgrade the existing retailing system? No.
Are you suggesting that we can achieve the same level of efficiency and delivery and expertise on our own without bringing in foreign retailers? Because no one else believes it. They have expertise that we don't, and surely the way Reliance and the others, and I'm sure Mr. Verghese, even though he runs a retail outlet, will accept this, none of the Indian major retailers have been able to achieve what they will achieve if some foreigners come in.
Sir, we have suggested to the government that let there be a small retailer sect, and there should be a cluster approach. The shops should be allowed to make a chain. In that way, we can organize the existing retailers.
All right.
We can upgrade the existing retailers. There is no need of FDI.
Let me put your point to Mr. R.P. Singh. I won't say, as I can think Mr. Rajiv Kumar wants to say, that you're indulging in wishful thinking, but I will put to Mr. R.P. Singh the point that you made. Do we need foreign retailers, or can the upgradation through the clustering of Indian small retailers to create a big retailer actually do the job for you?
The organized retail is even today permitted. It has been tried for last 10 years. But you find that none of them have been very keen to invest in the back-end infrastructure. Number one, they don't find much money in that straight away. I think you need long gestation period to make all that kind of investment profitable.
Okay.
So if that kind of investment comes through, that kind of infrastructure comes through FDI, what is wrong in that? That's the point.
Absolutely. Let's take a break at that point. Let's come back and ask, do we then need to consider special safeguards and conditions which will minimize Mr. Khandelwal's fears, whilst in a sense guaranteeing the upside that everyone else seems to believe in? That's in a moment's time. See you after the break.